Welcome to another edition of Green is Good, and we're so honored to have with us today Rachel Meeuwse. She's the event manager from Stonehouse Farm and Eco Retreat. Welcome to Green is Good, Rachel.
Thank you.
So nice to have you today. Before we get talking about Stonehouse Farm and the Eco Retreat, talk a little bit about Rachel Meeuwse. Talk a little bit about your journey leading up to becoming the event manager there. Did you grow up in a tree-hugging household, or was there some event along the way, some epiphany you had that made you want to be in the sustainability world?
Well, I did grow up in a rural community, so I grew up just being very close to nature, spending all my time whenever I could outside. So I just had that natural connection to nature growing up. And then I moved to the city, to Chicago, about 6 years ago, and had that craving still for that connection with nature. And I was working as a personal chef here in the city then, and I decided to do a yoga teacher training through Meeuwse yoga studio. And they had just begun their first season at Stonehouse Farm, and that's where I did my yoga teacher training. And I became connected to the farm through the yoga and my training out there, and just began volunteering and spending my time out there. I felt a very special connection with the land, and so I was trying to spend as much time as I could out there. And
where is out there? Where is Stonehouse Farm located?
It is located in Paw Paw, Illinois. It's very near DeKalb, so it's about an hour and a half straight west of the city.
Got it. And when was it founded? The farm and the Eco Retreat.
Well, the Stonehouse Farm, as it is now, was founded about 2 years ago by Darren Friesen, who owns Meeuwse Yoga Studio here in Chicago. But the farm itself began in 1863 as a working farm. They built an amazing stone house, hauling these limestone stones, by ox and cart, and building it as they were working the land. And so it was a working farm for a long time, and then it was a campground for a while, and now it's a yoga retreat center, sanctuary.
And is it yoga, and what other service offerings do you have there?
So we do a lot of nature-based retreats and yoga-based retreats, and for example, Sukava Bodhe is our big festival that is, it's a yoga and music festival. So people come out, this year it was over Labor Day weekend, people come out for 4 days and do a lot of yoga and hear some amazing music and just connect with nature. So we do yoga, music festivals, and different teachers come out. People can create their own retreat. Whatever reason you have for gathering people together and doing it in a beautiful setting, you can do out there.
How big is the property?
It's about 40 acres.
40 acres. And how many people can stay there at one time?
We have had about 1,500. I think we could hold about 2,000
on
the property at once. Yep.
Where do they stay when they're there?
They camp.
Wow.
They stay in tents. They stay in yurts. So we do have yurts available for those people who don't, prefer to be in a tent, where you can be elevated and have a bed and a mattress and walls around you.
How do you feed them all?
We bring in caterers and food vendors for the bigger events, so that people have options of, the type of food that they want to have.
I would assume most of the people that come are more on the healthy oriented.
They do tend to have that bent when they come out there. So we do have a lot of vegan and vegetarian options. For our smaller retreats, that's primarily what we offer. But for the bigger events, we know that, not everybody is a vegan or vegetarian. So we do have, those offerings for the bigger events.
And so how many retreats go on a yearly basis at Stonehouse Farms?
We try to be busy every weekend and have, even if they're small, some of the retreats are smaller, private followings of teachers that just want to get away with a group that they're familiar with. So we have things going on pretty much every weekend.
And what kind of yoga is practiced out there?
Oh, there's several different types of yoga practiced out there. So there's Ashtanga, is kind of the owner's background. He was trained in Mysore and does Ashtanga yoga, and we've had teachers from all sorts of backgrounds. There's Kundalini.
What kind do you practice and teach?
I practice and teach a Vinyasa Hatha combination. So there's really, I'm exploring that right now. I'm learning Ashtanga, and practicing Hatha, Vinyasa, Tantra, Kundalini, and Iyengar. So we kind of have it all. We're not specific to one type of yoga out there. We're very
How big are the classes
open.
on the weekend retreats?
It just depends on the type of retreat and the teacher coming out. We've had anywhere from 10 or 15 people for a private retreat if they wanted to, rent out the land and have the space to themselves.
Right.
To, hundreds of people coming, doing several classes at once. For example, during Sukava Bodhi, we have maybe 3 or 4 yoga classes, different classes going on at the same time throughout the day, every day, so that people have the option to explore whatever they think might pertain to their personal style.
Is it rented out? Is the Eco Retreat ever rented out by families or a specific group of people or corporation just trying to get their family members or their corporate colleagues more in touch with the land and
That's a good
sustainability?
question. We have had people with that interest come out, and though we do our retreats and events on the weekends, we're open throughout the week for people. People just stop by and want to camp and enjoy nature, and we are very open to that. We love to have people just enjoying the land, and so families come out all the time, and all of our events are family friendly as well. So definitely people come out just to spend time and connect with nature and get away. And it doesn't have to be for an event or anything like that. It can just be to have a place to find some peace.
So it's camping only. Is there any lodging available for sort of a bed and breakfast lodging or lodging inside of the buildings as well, or no?
So other than camping, which we do, people can just come and bring their own tents and pitch a tent. We
Right.
offer glamping, which is something that we're
There's a new
offering
name
for.
me. I've never
Yes,
heard that,
so
glamping.
it's glamorous camping, where you can just show up, and we have a large tent set up for you with air mattresses and electric offerings and hospitality tents, so that you don't have to carry that or worry about if you're not sure how to set up a tent, you've never done that before. We can do it for you, and then you can just come and enjoy. But other than that, we do have yurts. So the yurts are circular structures that are built on a platform. They do have a roof and a skylight and walls and wooden floor and beds with mattresses and everything in them, and doors that lock for those of who don't want to be in a tent so exposed to the elements. So the yurts are indoor structures that people can rent.
And do you have to take care of it yourself, or do people pay a fee and then someone helps maintain it during the time that they're staying at the Eco Retreat?
We maintain everything on site. You just rent a bed, and we provide everything that you need during that time.
Now, if I made the reservation that I'm coming, then also I could tell you what kind of food I enjoy, and then there'd be food there also for me?
We have, so through our caterers, we definitely have the ability to, if somebody has a gluten intolerance, for example, or if any kind of allergy or whatever, we do definitely try to take care of people's special needs with their diet. So, dairy-free, gluten-free, any of those things are not a problem at all.
Got it. So for our guests and our viewers and listeners who just joined us, we've got Rachel Meeuwse. She's the event manager at Stonehouse Farm and Eco Retreat, and you can find Stonehouse Farm at www.stonehousefarm.com. Stonehousefarm.com. What paradigm, when the gentleman who bought it, had purchased it, what was the paradigm that he was chasing or modeling his place after? I mean, what other Stonehouse Farms are there in the United States or around the world that you guys are sort of like?
That's a good question. I don't know if there's anybody quite like us.
Yeah.
And I just say that because there are a ton of yoga retreat centers all over the world. People want to go to glamorous destinations and practice yoga. But this was really, I think Darren's vision was, he has the yoga studios here in Chicago with Meeuwse, and he wanted to create a peaceful space where people could get away from the city and enjoy nature and see the stars and have that added level of serenity to deepen their practice. So a lot of people, you can come to a yoga class in the city and it's fantastic, but to be able to remove from all of the distractions of the city and to have such a peaceful, serene atmosphere can really take the practice to a new level. And so I think he was just trying to provide a safe haven for anyone to come and enjoy and deepen their personal practice, connect with nature, connect with a like-minded community that has the same ideals.
So you spend most of your time practicing and teaching at Stonehouse Farms, not in the city anymore.
I'm not in the city anymore.
Right.
I do spend during the season. It is a seasonal place right now, so we just closed down for the season. But yeah, throughout the season, out there teaching and managing the events and facilitating the experience for people to come and enjoy.
Stonehouse Farm is only open certain months?
It is open from May to October.
And then in the winter, what happens?
In the winter, we shut down, and we just keep an eye on the place to, let nature kind of take its course, and
right.
And then we just
so
wait till spring to renew.
Studios in the city, then is that?
No, I'm in Peoria now, actually, but so I just do private lessons.
And
right
Darren teaches back at his studios in the city at that point.
Yes. Yep.
Got
so Darren comes back, and Meeuwse is where everything is at.
Wow. Any last thoughts or things you'd like to share with our listeners and our viewers out there?
I would like to just invite people to check it out. And even if you're not, if you don't think that you're a nature person, to come and check it out. We've had a lot of people come out and fall in love with the place and fall in love with how it feels to be out there and to see the stars and to connect with yourself on that level. I would invite people to come to Sukava Bodhe, is Sanskrit for joyful awakening, and experience some music and yoga. And we're having, it's called Homegrown Music Festival. It's a bluegrass festival over July 4th weekend next year that will have some awesome bluegrass music and some homestead gathering classes. So information on survival techniques, and we keep bees. So, and actually our bees won the blue ribbon at the sandwich fair this year, which we were excited about. But and
shameless bee plug.
Yes, our bees are awesome.
Our bees won.
Our bees won, but it was all the bees, so we can't take credit for it. But so come out and learn about nature and survival and homesteading. We're really trying to bring an awareness back to the land and the connection of the individual to nature. We're doing a lot of farm-to-table events next year, so that we're going to be growing a lot of our own food. We try to bring as much food to the table that was grown on the land, on the property there, to feed people during the retreats and the events, so that there's just that added connection with the earth, and people can come and participate in these processes too. And
Rachel, how about for yoga beginners? Is it something like an eco retreat can seem sort of daunting, although it sounds amazing? Is it for beginners, or is it for people who are truly very experienced in yoga to enjoy Stonehouse Farm and Eco Retreat?
Oh, it's absolutely for everybody. I think that depending on the offerings, there are some offerings that beginners might feel more comfortable at. Definitely the big festivals are going to have a range of offerings for a range of skill levels, and we're always excited to meet people who have never done yoga before, and they're my favorite people because there's this whole world of options available to them, and we absolutely provide options for those who have never done yoga before to those who have a daily practice and want to take it to the next level.
So it's fair to say at Stonehouse Farm and Eco Retreat, there's something for everyone.
Absolutely.
Music, beautiful getting in connection with nature, the stars, the earth,
and yoga. And absolutely the food, there's a lot of educational classes that we have going on, from everything from beekeeping and gardening, working with the wax, to survival skills, and really anything connected with nature and yoga and music and fun and
awesome.
Community.
Well, thank you, Rachel. Rachel Meeuwse, the event manager at Stonehouse Farm and Eco Retreat. To learn more about Stonehouse Farm, to go there during their season and enjoy the stars, the food, the yoga, the music, go to www.stonehousefarm.com. Rachel, thank you for coming on the show today. You are truly living proof that green is good.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.